Happy New Year 2026 here from New Zealand. I was thinking about this today, and being in New Zealand, being in a time zone that's ahead of most other countries, we get to celebrate or experience New Year's ahead of a lot of other countries. And so I was thinking about time zones and what are the perks or the advantages and disadvantages of being in a time zone that's ahead of most other countries. So one thing is you start the day ahead of everyone else, maybe when people are winding down or maybe when people are still asleep. Two is you could technically celebrate New Year's twice if you really wanted to. One here in Auckland or here in New Zealand, and then you could potentially fly to, let's say, New York, a direct flight, and potentially celebrate again. I don't know, maybe another country as well. Number three is you're probably not going to have as much competition during peak global internet traffic, although the counter side of that is there's probably a bit of lag since New Zealand is far away from a lot of other countries. A fourth one is kind of a neutral point, but can be seen as an advantage as well, is being that we wake up on the day earlier than other places, we might experience a release sooner than other places. Now, most times with internet releases and things, they generally do it at a universal time. So like one time that they've set that probably fits a certain time zone the best, and then everyone else just has to get it at that time as well. So it's not a huge advantage, but sometimes you might find things where they are released a little bit earlier because they're released on a specific day. Okay. Disadvantages or downsides. Sometimes if you're working and you have a problem that's originating from another country and the people that would be working to resolve the issue are still asleep, you basically have to just wait until those people wake up and start working until your issues get resolved, unless there's like a 24-hour support team. But even then, if it's like a technical issue, they probably won't be able to help. So that can be a bit of a pain sometimes. And adding on to that is when you're communicating or when you need to communicate with a team or somebody from overseas, then it can be slower than obviously communicating with someone in the same time zone, working in the same business hours. Another one is working remotely in another country can be challenging because of the time zone difference. So here in New Zealand, to try and match the New Zealand time zone, from what I found from the places that I've been or people that I've worked with, is that you either have to wake up early to match the start time of the New Zealand business day, or the start time of the New Zealand business day would be typically when someone might be winding down or exiting out of their normal business hours. So that can be a little bit challenging as well. Number three, sometimes there are events on, I don't want to call them international events, but big events that are hosted or staged in another country. And in order for you to watch that live, you have to basically map your time zone to that time zone. And so that can be challenging as well. Okay, so those were a few advantages and disadvantages of being in a time zone that's ahead of most other countries. There are obviously some countries, or I think there's one or two or a few countries that are ahead of New Zealand in terms of time zone. And there are probably some time zones that are very close to New Zealand where the difference isn't that significant. You don't really notice the difference that much unless you find yourself actually needing to do the contrast. And so generally I find it's fine, but those are a few interesting points that I've noticed living on this side of the world. Thanks for watching. Again, Happy New Year. Let's make 2026 awesome. Hope it's a good one. Thanks for watching. See you next time.